I generally choose EasyJet when flying around the UK. Now, this video is attached to another video that I put up, and a lot of people had a couple of questions in there, so I wanted to dive into that a little bit more. I travel a lot for keynote speaking, conferences all around the UK, generally internal flights, a few within Europe as well. And to most places, EasyJet tends to fly. Ryanair tends to fly in the other places, and of course British Airways fly the majority of those routes as well. But EasyJet I've found has been the most easy across the board. And the reason for it is I have EasyJet Plus. It costs about £215 for the year. But what that means is on every single flight that I have, I can pick any seat and it is free of charge. I automatically get speedy boarding. I automatically get 2 bits of cabin luggage, automatically included. I fly out of Belfast International very often, it's an option there, Gatwick, Luton, all of those fast tracks, all already included in your ticket by default. That costs me, you're looking at about 30 quid a flight. And if you fly more than 6-7 times a year, that isn't 6-7 trips, that's 6-7 individual flights, then it's going to cost you that anyway. So it makes sense to be able to do that. The other thing that I do very often is book the first flight of the day, because most delays happen in airports from knock-ons, especially with budget airlines, where they only give themselves a short turnaround. One delay on one leg will affect it later on, usually being on flights that are later on in the day when I'm coming back from a conference. They're my sort of tips when I fly, and that's the reason that I stick with EasyJet is because it's just easy. And I know that sounds really simple, but the app is incredibly easy for me to book flights. I've got EasyJet Plus, it auto-renews every year. It's very, very easy. And they also have a bit which isn't very well advertised. If you fly enough with them, they add you to a thing called Flight Club. And it's one of those things that I can talk about Flight Club in this instance. But that allows me to turn up at the airport early. And if I'm early, I can get onto any flight if there's still a space. If there is an earlier flight going to the same destination, I can make any changes without paying any fees for it, just a fare difference if I need to. And I can change names on flights up to 5 times completely free of charge on that individual flight. Really, really good services that they have. And I know there are frequent flyer packages with BA and stuff like that. But you're paying a premium for those for ultimately a 50-minute flight at most for most destinations. You might as well be on EasyJet. As ever, any tips in terms of the marketing world, then do me a favour, follow along for more. Of course, if you've got any other questions on EasyJet or flying regularly around the UK, comment them below and I'll try and answer them as I can.